interesting to see how he reacts. Is he nervous? Is he excited? Long time coming.
Probably a little bit of both. Hadn't seen either of his parents since the summer of 2013. Baylor controls, and Manu LeConte will handle. You see he's got that left thumb taped up. That's been an issue. They go lob and the throwdown. Nooney Omot immediately.
And they recognize the zone. They had a set play for it. Good back screen. And Baylor comes out with a little token pressure. Probably back to the zone, although this year they played more man-to-man than in recent Baylor seasons.
Kick to the corner, Clark. That shot off the mark and then tipped out of bounds, and it'll stay with Texas Southern. Dante Clark, the grad transfer from UMass, missing the shot. Joe Lual-Achuil Jr. in his 6th year, and a guy who led the Big 12 in blocks a season ago.
And improved offensively this year, John, without a doubt. One of the best big men in this conference. There's that zone by Baylor. This is a tested Tiger team that has played, as you mentioned, a crazy schedule.
Great job of the lob. They connect with 7'2" Trayvon Reed, their big guy.
Yeah, that's a young man that signed at Maryland. He was not accepted. He had some off-the-court legal issues. He ended up playing a little bit at Auburn, a redshirt year, 1 year playing. He is all of 7'2".
They had to stop play there because John Higgins was telling one of the ball boys, you got to wait till they get out of the area before you come onto the court and start wiping it off. But appreciate the effort. Omot gets inside, goes to the glass and lays it in. Nooney with the first 2 baskets.
Another guy, John, that started to improve. Now they played Randall, a small school, NAIA school up in Oklahoma, in that Fort Hood game, which we'll get into. Nooney had a career-high 30 points. And that young man is also well-traveled, born in Kenya. Immigrated to the United States with his family, South Dakota, and then in the Minneapolis area, St. Paul. Look at this.
Another lob, and again, Trayvon Reed with the dunk. So Omot Reed so far in this one, tied at 4.
And quite frankly, Big Joe sleeping in the middle of that zone. It's hard to blame him after the day he's had.
Establishing position now, gets inside, flips it up, a little short. Fight for the loose ball, and the Tigers save it. Top player for Texas Southern, DeMontre Jefferson. Trey Jefferson, their little guy, wearing number 3. This is him with the ball. He goes about 5'7".
Averaging 22 points a game. How about that?
Clark, kick out. Good hands, LeConte. And Manu up ahead and lays it in. And even with Jefferson draped all over him.
Poise and composure for Texas Southern is the key. Now, they have been to some terrific basketball environments already this season.
Inside, and Lamont Walker flips it up and in. And at least in the early going, all these road games, they've shown poise and composure early on, haven't they?
That's exactly right, John. 9 games they've led at the first TV timeout. Let's see if we can make it 10.
And Joe Lual-Achuil with the bucket.
Yeah, this is a team that's been to Gonzaga, Kansas, Syracuse, Ohio State, Clemson. Took Oregon to the wire the other night in Eugene.
That one launched from way downtown, missed everything. Jefferson gets it back and looking for some help. Kicks it out. Bruce. And Baylor not rebounding. The Tigers are. Kick to the corner, Clark. And Omot able to track down the board.
Some good looks early for Texas Southern. Yeah, they're not going to be intimidated because of the type of schedule they've played.
LeCon buries the corner three. Manu able to knock it down. The Miami transfer hails from Belgium.
He's had issues with that thumb going back to his days at Miami, John.
Bruce hoists it up. And the rebound pulled down by Tristan Clark, their true freshman who has started every game.
That hasn't happened since Perry Jones was at Baylor.
Oh my. Off the mark. Mentioned coming off a 30-point game. He had 6 threes in that 30-point game. Now, when we return, we'll talk Joe Lawal-Achuil Jr. graduating on Saturday, and it has been a long road to Waco for the big guy.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball, and the United States Marine Corps.
Back here in Waco, Joe Lawal-Achuil Jr. 5 double-doubles already this year, and what a road it's been. His long journey to Baylor started in South Sudan and then eventually moved on to a refugee camp in Uganda, then to Perth, Australia, eventually grew up in Melbourne, and then found his way to Chanute, Kansas, and then eventually Waco, Texas. He's a 6th-year guy. Had a heart issue, actually, and he's getting a chance to graduate on Saturday. Pretty cool story.
It really is a cool story. His father worked for the Sudan government, so he stayed behind while mom and the kids migrated around the world. He's a great young guy, great smile on his face. And he told us probably when he got here a couple of years ago, he said, I didn't have a winter coat till I went to Chanute, Kansas, which is understandable.
Sure.
He's been there during the basketball season.
Nice move inside. Mark Vital checking in. Trayvon Reed picks up the foul. Vital, a game-time decision with a bad hamstring. There's his dad, Joseph Achuil. Spelling's a little different, pronunciation the same. And it's got to be special for father and son. Getting a chance to see him play in college for the first time here in Waco, and getting a chance to see him graduate on Saturday as well.
Well, let's put it in perspective, John. I got to hang out with your dad last week in Newark, and I'm sure you're going to spend the Christmas holidays. Yep. And 4 years plus that he didn't see mom and dad. That's an amazing sacrifice for everybody involved.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
This guy's got a lot of talent.
Jefferson hangs and hits. Wow.
Yep. Out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Well-traveled, prep school in South Carolina.
He's on the court a lot as well. 39 minutes a game is what he's playing so far.
Well, Mike Davis makes no bones about the fact that he gets second chance guys with a chip on their shoulder, something to prove.
Oh my, rattles in a 3. And Nooney off to a good start. Finish what you're saying, though. Kids who...
Yeah, you know, he said, look, I've got different issues here than I had with the players at Indiana. I've got to suspend guys at times. I've got to keep them in line. You know, I had to explain to them why they have to go to the pregame meal. And why we have study hall on the road. It's all those kind of things that he said, you know, makes this job that he's had rewarding. Remember, he was the guy that replaced Bob Knight at Indiana when Bob Knight was fired. And subsequently took Indiana to the national championship game.
Lindsay gets the timeout, so breaking the action. Baylor up by 4. Trey Jefferson, littlest guy on the court, able to hang and hit. Back here in Waco, Mike Davis, 6th year as the head man at Texas Southern, and been to the NCAA tournament 3 times in the last 4 years. He makes no bones about it, though. He says our season starts March 6th.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the reality. That's when their conference tournament begins.
That's exactly right. And all these games they're playing against high-level competition is for that purpose. They open SWAC play on January 1st But he said taking his team to places like Kansas and Gonzaga and Baylor and other places, Ohio State, this gets us ready for the ultimate goal, which is to win our league.
Knocked out of bounds and stays with Baylor. Their next game is Saturday in Wyoming. And then Monday at TCU.
Back at TCU, absolutely.
Is there any way they could have maybe swapped those out?
Just for convenience.
Yeah.
I know it. Well, they bring in a lot of money, and they run the program, I would say, like a high mid-major program. You know, they travel well, they eat well, take a tutor on the road with them.
Lindsay had a wide open look at it. Rebound tracked down, Tyson Jolly, and the slam, and his first college field goal.
Absolutely, 0 for 8. Before that, he's done a really good job defensively. Remember, he missed the early part of the season with blood clot issues. He's a red shirt. And given the lack of depth for the Baylor Bears, he could play an important role. And there you see, now that's not fair. He hasn't played a game in over almost 3 years. Played
it's been a while.
Putnam City West, good program up in the Oklahoma City area.
Yep.
Redshirted. You think about all the guys that redshirted Baylor that turned out to be terrific players through the years. The Epe Udos, the John Motleys, the Corey Jeffersons. This team's got a few, right?
They've really used it. I mean, and they've used it with guys. And for programs at this level, you don't always see kids that are willing to do it. Obviously, Gonzaga's got good use out of utilizing red shirts, but you'd have to say that Scott Drew has as well.
How about Mark Vidal was the Louisiana Player of the Year 2 years ago, and he redshirted last year.
Baby Rico.
Baby Rico, exactly. Oh, it's great for most players who don't think they're one and done and use that year off as a development year. It's put a number of these guys in the NBA, by the way.
Brian Carey handling.
By and large, this Texas Southern team plays with good discipline, good ball movement. Jefferson gets a little thirsty sometimes.
Kick out, shot clock winding down, and the fadeaway is good for Robert Lewis, a JUCO transfer who has helped them.
And that young man played at Compton High School in LA, the same school that's produced, among others, DeMar DeRozan. These guys are well traveled. They cover the coast to coast, if you will.
Jolly hesitates, gets inside, off the glass, wouldn't go.
So that should be a travel.
Yeah, it should have been.
You know, the official felt that he had bobbled the ball, but it looked like he went down with possession.
Lewis inside and absorbs the contact. And a foul on the Bears. Baylor leads it by a couple. Back here at the Farrell Center in Waco, Scott Drew's team up by a couple. John Shambi and Fran Fraschilla, and they are shorthanded, basically down to 8 scholarship guys. Masked it out likely until January with a broken hand. Leonard Allen on medical leave. You got 2 transfers who are sitting out, Kegler and Gillespie. So, I mean, it's tough. And then you had Vidal missing the last game with the hamstring, and LeCompte being held out as well because of the thumb. So they're playing with 6 scholarship guys last time out.
Exactly. Playing time was not, nobody complained about playing time, by the way. Everybody was happy about that, but that's not where you want to be. And Maston should be back early January. He looks great, by the way, John. He lost 15 pounds. There was a certain ESPN announcer that
Picking on him.
Yeah, that said when they played Creighton that, you know, he's carrying a little extra baggage. And I don't know who that guy was, but he motivated TJ quite well. Because he's a force, as you and I both know, in this league on the offensive end. Watch this quickness.
Jefferson had it knocked away. Out of bounds, it belongs to Baylor.
With Jefferson and Reed at 5'7" and 7'2", that might be the biggest height disparity in college basketball among 2 starters. Reed was a heavily recruited big man out of Mobile, Alabama. There's a lob.
Started at Auburn, and Achuil able to get the bucket, his second of the game. Corner 3, Jefferson, no good. Vidal the board. Baylor the other way.
Mark Vital looks like a guy that eventually could end his way up on the football field.
McClure gets inside, an offensive foul. Well, 'tis the season. Holiday Hoops are back, and we got a really good matchup on Sunday as 7th-ranked North Carolina heads to Knoxville to take on 20th-ranked Tennessee. Comes your way at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on ESPN and the ESPN app. Tennessee, I guess they're going to checker Thompson Bowling Arena for that highly anticipated game. The fans encouraged to wear orange or white depending on which section they sit in. So they go with the, you know, the Purina look. They can so.
Absolutely. My old mentor Rick Barnes has done a tremendous job there. Excited. They've got Paul Pete fans excited for hoops.
Jefferson inside and going down hard is Reed as he flipped it up to the big guy. Mentioned started his career at Auburn.
Yep, he and Jefferson worked pretty well together. They got that lob down. Take a look right here. You see the little guy and Trayvon Reed almost had another dunk.
Got that last foul on Tyson Jolly. He's picked up 2.
I mentioned earlier Reed signed with Maryland. Had some off-the-court issues and then ended up back at Auburn. And then transferred to Texas Southern. Mike Davis, 3 NCAA tournaments in 4 years. You know, it's interesting. He'll admit this. He got the Indiana job, which is the penultimate job in college basketball, right? You think about Kentucky, Indiana.
One of them, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And he said, I wasn't ready for that job. And, you know, you'd say, well, his career's gone down from Indiana to UAB to Texas Southern, but in fact 3 NCAA tournaments. He dominates the SWAC each year. He's got a very good team this year. Don't go by the record because we already know what they're capable of doing.
He said it might be his best team, and again they've been to the NCAA tournament 3 of their last 4 years. I think the other part of it that's interesting for Mike Davis, he said he doesn't really recruit. It basically it comes to him, and you talk about, you know, kids looking for a second chance, third chance. Everybody calls him.
Yeah. He just wants to know, can they play, and do they want to be helped? That's what he said.
Trayvon Reed picking up his second. Elbow jumper, LeCompte wouldn't go. And a lay-in on the putback for Joe Lowell-Achuil Jr.
What a thrill for mom and dad to see him play tonight. And given the fact that Joe's mind was elsewhere up until about a half hour before the game, he's off to a pretty good start.
He drove all the way up to DFW. Oh man, that was halfway down for Robert Lewis, wouldn't go. And he got here about 45 minutes before tip. Got deep post position, and he's got 8. Achuil is averaging 14 points, 10 boards, and guy who led the league in blocks. And the family is loving it.
Take a look. Look how deep he is now. They get back in transition. They got the little mismatch inside. Catches it deep post. And John, we've watched him grow as a player. He was a shot blocker a year ago. The offense started to come on, but this is very much a regular occurrence with Joe getting into double figures, and that's got to be a real thrill right there. Dad's pretty stoic, right?
Yeah.
Dad's been there, done that.
But they've never gotten a chance to see him play. And again, his first chance to see his parents since the summer of 2013.
Yeah, amazing. What a journey. Wouldn't be surprised. Some of my Australian friends think there's a chance he'll compete for a spot on the national team someday.
Carey going to work inside, kick out. And Clark's jumper is good.
That's good basketball right there. Brian Carey, a young man out of Denver East, one of the top programs in the state of Colorado. His uncle Rudy has had a great program at East forever. Good backup point guard. He kind of keeps them sane sometimes when Jefferson goes off the reservation.
Accomplished everything. And that's saved inside. Bruce picks it up. Derek Bruce gets rejected as Achuil blocked it, but then was standing on the baseline, and it's out of bounds, and it belongs to Texas Southern. And that, by the way, was Achuil's 100th career block.
It's a pretty good number in less than 2 seasons when you think about it.
He got that with his elbow. 2-point Baylor lead.
He's going to shoot that, I think. I think he's got a mismatch.
A little short on that shot. LeCompte. Feed inside. Achuil draws the foul as they get that one on Dante Clark.
Yeah, that's one of those where I think when Manu comes off pick and roll there, he's got to put that ball up in the air. You make a 7-footer reach down for a bounce pass, that doesn't put him in the most optimum position.
Clark inside, got deep position and flipped it in. He's averaging 8 points and 6 rebounds, and as we said, when you come to a program like this and start right away, start every game right away. Last guy, Perry Jones, and that was 7 years ago.
Yeah, but think of the big guys that Scott Drew's developed here when you think of Quincy Acee and Epe Udoh is now playing well for the Utah Jazz. Jonathan Motley, Corey Jefferson, Rico Gathers. It just goes on and on. Isaiah Austin. Not all those guys were McDonald's All-Americans. In fact, few of them. The development program here has been excellent.
LeCompte feed inside, taken away. It's a turnover. Look out. And Trey Jefferson lays that one in. He's got some serious hops. He's got 6 early on.
Well, and they're not going away either. We talked about this team, John. They have been to some very tough environments already. They're fairly well rested because they played Oregon Monday night in the game they led in the second half. They've got talent at 4 or 5 different spots on the floor.
LeCompte gets fouled. They led Washington State by 18 at the break. Smallest guy on the court, Demontre Jefferson, the sophomore from Milwaukee, out ahead of the pack. Lays it in, and we get ourselves a 2-point game. Back here in Waco from the Farrell Center, John Chambi, Fran Fraschilla, and number 21 Baylor in a bit of a dogfight. And of course, they had a chance to play what was technically a home game in Fort Hood against Randall. They had members of the military on the benches, both teams, and Scott Drew obviously showing great support for our military, and that's a pretty cool thing for them to do as a group.
Exactly. It's the 3rd year they've done that. Fort Hood is about an hour south of here in Killeen, Texas. It's got a very historic meaning, Fort Hood. It was opened in 1942. It was designed with all that land out there, John, to work on destroying German tanks. That's where the tank destroyers were developed out at Fort Hood and played a key part in winning World War II. But even now, to have 50 or so thousand troops down there, I think, and have Baylor show up, it's pretty good.
LeCompte knocked down the 3 and gets fouled. They get the foul on Demontre Jefferson. And so LeCompte, as he knocks it down, he's got 9 up ahead. Here's Nuni Omot with the throwdown.
And Jefferson that time threw one of those helium passes that stayed in the air a little too long.
And that shot blocked. Gets it back, blocked again. And Achuil, what do they have? They go to the possession arrow, and it belongs to Baylor.
Trey Jefferson throws this ball high enough that it just hangs in the air. That's too much air time, and there's a steal, and King McCourt, the unselfish play. And Nuni Omot out of St. Paul, Minnesota. Another young man with a great story, born in a Kenyan refugee camp. His family immigrated to South Dakota. I said, do you remember Kenya? He said, no. I said, do you remember South Dakota? He goes, yeah, it was cold. And I said, well, why'd your family move to Minneapolis, St. Paul? He said, I don't know. I'm trying to figure that one out.
He shot up too. His junior year of high school, he was 6'1", and he's now 6'9".
Yeah, and another interesting thing, he started out his career at Concordia in St. Paul, Division II, and ended up in JUCO. That's a nice little running hook right there.
And there's the tip of the freshman, Tristan Clark, up and able to get his hand on that one. And just like that, we got ourselves a 10-point game. Bruce weaving through traffic, knocked out of bounds. Baylor on an 8-0 run. Fans, Saturday on ABC, 2 college football bowl games coming your way. Noon Eastern, Grambling the SWAC champs. They take on North Carolina A&T. They're the MEAG champs. It's the 3rd annual Celebration Bowl. And then 3:30 Eastern, number 25 Boise State goes up against Oregon. It's the Las Vegas Bowl.
And the most famous Texas Southern football player?
Michael Strahan.
Michael Strahan. Yep. Hall of Famer.
Jumper is good for Dante Clark, the UMass transfer.
Coaching change up there in Amherst. He had an extra year to play as a graduate and ended up at Texas Southern. Like Davis said, he could be a very, very good player this year.
Clark in close and couldn't hit.
I like the way Trey Jefferson's played tonight. There are times where he takes on the challenge one-on-one, gets a little bit out of control, but he's done a good job of running his team tonight. It's a good look.
Really good look. Oh, and then it's blocked by Clark. Woo. Goodness. Bachuil looking for some help. Doesn't need it. Gets inside and puts it in. And 10 for Big Joe.
This is a team with one big man who's not in right now and lots of guards. And Big Joe taking advantage of the size differential. And watch Tristan Clark. Young man was the 6A Texas Player of the Year. Talked about the development of the big guys here at Baylor. There's the block at one end, and then Big Joe down low going to work on Derek Bruce. Easy finish inside. Derek Bruce, an Oregon State transfer. He once started an NCAA tournament game for the Beavers.
Beat inside, they get the travel. That's a turnover. So Baylor with the basketball. 4:25 to go here first half. And a 10-point lead. Marquis Salmon, another transfer from Wagner into the game.
The beautiful borough of Staten Island. Place I've been through many times paying that $16 toll with the Verrazano Bridge.
It's always about the tolls. To look inside, Clark had it stripped away.
Wagner High School in San Antonio. Tristan Clark. That's been a pretty good school for NBA players in recent years. Andre Robertson and Jordan Clarkson, who's been a terrific player for the LA Lakers the last couple of years. This guy committed as a junior to Baylor. San Antonio is you know how much I talk about Texas high school basketball. When you think of Taurean Prince recently and guys like Clarkson and Andre Robertson, good high school basketball down there.
Offensive rebound inside. And I think they got the foul on Tyson Jolly. Yeah, they did. That'll be his 3rd. So Texas Southern basketball. Jefferson lost his footing and the shot was off the mark. And they get a timeout. Baylor leads this one by 11 here in Waco.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Panera Bread, food as it should be, and Heineken. Open your world. Enjoy responsibly.
Oh, I'm going to stick with the Jayhawks. Seth, I'm sticking with the Jayhawks because I just can't see them losing another home game. I can't.
Seth took the field. I was giving him a hard time on Twitter earlier today.
Listen, you know, that's not necessarily a bad play. I'm just going to go with history.
I understand. And I'm glad to see Seth working with the great Allison Williams. Great to have her with us here tonight. All right, news and notes out of the Big 12. And, yeah, back-to-back home losses. First time since '89. And then you get TCU, one of 6 remaining unbeaten teams. And then West Virginia, they lost that first game to Texas A&M. We saw them against Missouri down there in Orlando, and they've got one of the most experienced Power 5 backcourts going with Dax Miles and, of course, Javon Carter. It's a good-looking team. Yeah, and when Issa Ahmad comes back around the second week of January, if he's playing as well as the coaching staff told us he is, they could be they are going to be dangerous anyway, and that is a great backcourt. By the way, Seth would play 10 Texas Southerns on that Virginia Tech schedule. Wow. Yeah, we know that. Unbelievable. No. From the corner, and that one off the mark from Lewis, but an offensive rebound. That one from way downtown. And DeMontre Jefferson knocks it down and talks a little something to the Baylor bench. He's got 9, and Mike Davis had to talk to him about it early on in the season. He was talking trash to Josh Perkins at Gonzaga, and then Josh just went out and lit up Texas Southern, and Mike said, look, we don't need to aggravate some of these guys. Here's the freshman, Tristan Clark. Well, from the start of the year, as you mentioned, John, he's plugged a hole in that lineup. And bright future for that young man. And again, you know, the Scott Drew can't coach crowd is pretty much dissipated. You know, it's pretty much, they've all gone into witness protection. But when you think of they should, by the way, the results are the results. Yeah. I mean, 2 Elite Eights, a Sweet 16 last year. And the development of players, you know, the guys he's had the most or the lack of success with have been some of the more highly recruited guys. But the plethora of players who've developed in this program. Torian Prince had 25 the other night for the Atlanta Hawks. He didn't start until his senior year. Think about that. Turned out a couple pretty good tight ends too. Rico Gathers with the Cowboys, and Ish Wainwright caught 2 touchdowns this year for the Baylor Bears in his 5th year. Feed inside, that'll go out of bounds the other way. And Baylor basketball up by 8. See the Texas schools in terms of draft picks, and Baylor with the most since 2012. 6 of them. Took over a tough job after what had happened here under Dave Bliss. And I mean, the Baylor basketball history, let's be honest, it starts with what Scott Drew has done. You know what I mean? For the most part, you're absolutely right. Vinnie Johnson played here, Darryl Middleton, Brian Skinner, David Wesley, but one of the great rebuilding jobs in the history of college basketball, there's no question. 90 seconds to go here, first half. Jefferson weaves through, lays it in. That was nice. Yeah, impressive. Yeah, Trey Jefferson has been very impressive in this game. He's kept his composure. He's run the team well. And he's obviously a bucket getter. He's got 11. It's been an efficient 11 as well. Omont was looking for Achuil. And a corner 3 will go, and that is King McClure. That's the key guy on this team, John, because some nights he's just absolutely brilliant, and he's been brilliant in some of the biggest games Baylor's played the last 2 years. He's got to be a 15-point-a-night scorer to me. Came off a great tournament up in Kansas City, 19 in the final against Creighton. That was a good win. It's a good Creighton team. See if they pull it out for one here, or see if they got numbers. And Mono LeConte, a lot of experience, especially internationally this summer with Belgium. He's going to pull it out, create one shot. Started his career at Miami. Got into basketball. His uncle was a big player growing up in Belgium. That was one of his big basketball influences. Lecomte goes to work on the baseline. Fadeaway is good. 11 for Manu. And that is the way the first half comes to a close. Baylor up 43-32. The lead is 11. Joe Lual-Achuil Jr. getting a chance to see his parents for the first time in over 4 years and puts together a pretty impressive first half. Baylor by 11. Time now to send it back to the studio. Here's Allison Williams and the field. Back here in Waco as we get ready for second half action, and Baylor up by 11 at the half. Getting a good first half from both Manu Lecomte and Joe Lual-Achuil Jr. But points in the paint, that was the story, Franny.
Yeah, they got started early, John. They've got they're shooting 70% inside the arc, and they've only got 1 2-point basket that's not been in the paint. And whether it's been zone or man, they have size advantage inside most of the time. Trayvon Reed is 7 feet 2, but they're a small 4-guard lineup. Good job by Baylor early to establish.
Closest Texas Southern got was down 24-22, 7:34 left in the half. We get ready for second half play. And Joe Lual-Achuil Jr., there he is, sets it inbound. What a day it's been for him. Drive to the airport, getting a chance to pick up his parents, getting to the game about 45 minutes before tip-off, but seeing his family for the first time in over 4 years. That's amazing. He graduates on Saturday, and it's obviously the first time they've seen him play live major college D1 basketball.
And there were a few people in the Ferrell Center sweating that there wasn't a traffic accident on I-35, because he literally not only got here 40 minutes before the game, John, we saw him warming out on the court on his own as the rest of the team was in the locker room. So big day for Joe and a big weekend.
So the folks getting a chance to see him play. 8-point game. And that one up and in for Tristan Clark, who's got 9. He's looked good.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, Trayvon Reed is 7 feet 2, but the remainder of this starting lineup for Texas Southern, all in that 6'2" to 6'4" range.
Moved by Dante Clark, and he's got 10.
A perfect example right there. They've got those 3 wing players, John. This is again, don't be deceived by the record. They played a difficult schedule, and there's the big fella. Trayvon Reed out of Mobile, Alabama.
Comes over, gets the block on Achuil.
They will be the favorites in the SWAC, and of course they have won the title 3 of the last 4 years. And
in conference, they've gone 16-2, 3 straight years. And again, right now 0-9, and the schedule has been, I mean, an absolute bear.
Well, and you made a great point earlier that Mike Davis told us today. His season starts March 6th. And as a former mid-major coach, there is no more greater pressure on a coach than have to play an entire season knowing that all that matters is that conference tournament weekend. And that's why these games are designed to toughen the Tigers up and get them ready for March.
Yeah, get better. That's what he talks about.
Yeah.
They've gone so far this year. This is their 10th game, and all of them have been on the road. They'll begin the year with 13 straight road games. Actually had a year a couple of seasons ago, 15 in a row on the road to begin the year. As Lecomte is fouled, and he'll go to the line. They get that one. Trey Jefferson, his second.
On occasion, you see there's the story of their season so far. On occasion, John, they have jumped up and bitten their power conference team. Michigan State a couple of years ago, they knocked off LaSalle in overtime. The other night against Oregon. They had Oregon on the ropes late.
About 3 minutes to go.
Yes. Lost in overtime to Washington State after blowing a 22-point lead.
And we get a foul on Manu Lecon.
Manu a little frustrated right here. Trey Jefferson not averse to talking a little smack.
He's from Belgium, speaks English, obviously, but they say that when he gets really angry, like he curses in French, is what. So the angry language is French, is what I'm told. Sources close to me indicate. Here's a good note.
That's what we call a nugget.
That's a nugget. McClure, a three, got it.
Yeah.
King knocks down another.
You know, I've said it, John. I've said it during the CBE. He's not the best player on the team, but he's the most important to me because he should be able to go out and get 17 every night. He's a good defender. He's a good shooter. And sometimes I think drifts in and out of games.
And a turnover, and it belongs to Baylor. 13-point Baylor advantage. But one of the things we'll talk about coming up, there is a method to the madness playing those games on the road, and for these smaller conference and lower level D1 teams, there's a reason they're playing them, and it's financial. And we'll have you explain that coming up in a bit.
Yeah, you know, the SWAC non-conference schedule this year, 81% of their games are played on the road.
8-0 Baylor run, and P.J. Bruce not able to knock that down. Some contact on the side, and they get the shove on Clark. 16-point advantage. It's ballooned to with Baylor on top. Just under 17 to go, and this is the largest lead of the game for the Bears. So here you go. Non-conference true road games. For the Big 12, it's about 7%. You take a look at the Big 10, about 12%. The ACC, 15%. As they find Newly Omon, the SWAC at 81% non-conference true road games.
Not fair. That's all I'll say. That's not fair.
Sure.
If you're coaching low majors. Now they raise about $1 million playing all these guarantee games.
Because I don't know that everybody realizes, but for Texas Southern to come play this game or to go to Wyoming, Baylor pays them.
Exactly.
Wyoming pays Texas Southern.
That's right.
And I don't know that the average fan realizes that.
Well, this particular team raises so much money that they not only are able to pay the school back, you know, the money that's outweighed at the start of the year, but they're treated like what I would say is a high mid-major team. You know, the way they travel, the way they conduct their business, and it winds up being really good. And the one thing you have to do if you're the head coach is check your ego at the door, because your non-conference record is going to be horrendous, and there are going to be people that say, well, Mike Davis can't coach. Well, obviously he can. He's gotten 3 NCAAs in 4 years. That ball's deflected.
Good hands there by Bruce. And hang on. As Chance Moore and John Higgins have a chat, and now John Higgins looks at Patrick Adams. I believe it'll be Baylor basketball when we return. Back in Waco, and Baylor's been on quite a run, Coach Fran.
I'm going to let UB take this one. Now, come on. Now, what you love about Baylor is they're getting high percentage shots in the painted area, okay? And they are making a high percentage from behind the arc as well. In our league, now you love what they're doing, okay? Right now you love what they're doing.
Have you ever done that for him?
I think I have.
Gosh.
Come on. Now we all know this, okay?
Noni Omon with the bucket, and it's a 12-0 run.
Now right now, the Texas Southern defense is abominable, okay?
You've known him a long time, I know.
He's the greatest basketball minds ever.
Yeah.
He is 84 years old, going strong.
Jefferson loses the handle, kicks it. And numbers for Baylor. McClure, LeCompte, kick out. Omot a three. Got it.
That will be a weapon in the Big 12. Looney Omot, last year he got his feet wet after a junior college sophomore season. But very, very comfortably fitting into this Baylor offensive scheme. This is a ranked team, John, but they will be very good when TJ Maston returns.
Good hands by the Baylor defense. Shot clock expiring. And Omot with the board, kicks it up ahead. Achuil working quickly. And flips that one up and in. And a dozen for Big Joe.
The Achuil family's got to be loving this. Mom, dad, aunt, niece in attendance. Think they're going to get a good night's sleep, John? After that trip.
Inside. And Reed not able to get it to go, but gets fouled. All right, Saturday. How about a little bowl triple header for you? 1 Eastern, the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. Troy takes on North Texas, 4:30. Marshall goes up against Colorado State. A lot of green there. The Gildan New Mexico Bowl, and at 8, Middle Tennessee and Arkansas State facing off in the Raycom Media Camellia Bowl. All 3 games streaming live on the ESPN app. Trayvon Reed, 7 feet 2 inches tall.
Like Davis said, still learning how to play hard and establish himself for longer periods of time.
Texas Southern without one of their normal starters. Kevin Scott is second on the team in assists, and he averages 12.5 points a game. And Scott did not make the trip, suspended right now.
One of the things Mike Davis told us, he said, I've got to be their disciplinarian, and one of the ways we do it is if the guy doesn't do what we want, he just doesn't play.
Achuil contested by Reed. That one knocked out of bounds. Reed tried to save it, but it'll be Baylor basketball. 7 on the shot clock.
They were done with finals. They'll play 2 more games before Christmas break, and then they open their season out at Texas Tech.
They're pretty good.
Oh, yeah. 1 loss this year to Seton Hall in the Garden. I was at that game, John. I think it ended up a 12-point game, but you talked to Kevin Willard. That was a game that could have gone either way. I've seen Seton Hall as you did last weekend.
Seton Hall's good.
They are good. I think Texas Tech and Seton Hall played 10 times. Could be 5-5 or 6-4. McClure had the quizzical look on his face.
Scott Drew as well. 15th season at Baylor for Scott Drew. 7 times they've gone to the NCAA tournament, including the last 4. Last year, the Sweet 16. He's been in the Elite 8 twice.
They had never gone back-to-back in the NCAA tournament in their history until Scott Drew arrived in Waco. When he took this job, I thought he was a complete idiot. He had a good run going at Valpo in his first year.
Short. Bucket there for Marquise Salmon.
And then he's proved a lot of people wrong.
That's right. Wrong, Fran for Shalom. Wrong. Omot flips that up and in.
Huge success. There's that crossover move by the diminutive Trey Jefferson.
I mean, it is pretty amazing. Look, the Big 12 and how it's how it's changed and some. You look at the after Kansas. I think you'd have to say that the two programs over the course of the last 8 years that have established themselves as the two other top Big 12 programs would be Baylor and West Virginia.
I would say so, and you can't really deny what Oklahoma has done over that time. You know, they've rebuilt a little bit. You know, Bill Self made a great point to me, I think, during the summer. He said, in my 14 years at Kansas, everybody says, well, we dominate the Big 12, but in that 14-year period, 11 different Big 12 teams that were in the league at the time have gone to at least the Sweet 16. At least 4 teams have been to the Final Four, and 4 teams have produced National Players of the Year.
Yeah.
So it's not like, you know, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Does that work, Snow White? Yeah. We'll let you do that one over later, but I understand exactly what you're saying. And I probably, the other thing is Baylor and West Virginia, I'm guessing that if we put it over the last 8 years, probably the folks in Ames, Iowa would be a little cranky with me.
Yeah. Well, the 5-year run for sure that they've had.
Look out, Nooney, Oman. 20 for Nooney coming off a career-high 30.
He will definitely be a big factor with this team in the league. No doubt about it.
Carries pass just a little behind the big guy Trayvon Reed.
Nooney Omot, you mentioned small college transfer, then to junior college. Indian Hills, an outstanding program, and then last year he joined this Baylor team, eligible at the semester break last year. Think about it, John. He's 6'9". He can shoot the 3. He's perfect in that zone defense when they do go zone because of the length.
Well, you touched on that play earlier. I think it's a great point. You know, they get into some type of transition, and they get the 6'9" guy running to the corner to fan out for a 3. That makes it a little challenging, trying to figure out, okay, we need to get back and get to guys, but.
Yeah, he's, you know, that stroke you mentioned. How many did he hit the other day? 6?
6, yeah.
But he's just so comfortable. You know, he's got some Dorian Prince in him. Look at this.
Omot on the move. That wouldn't go. And fight for the loose ball. Rebound for the Texas Southern Tigers. Tell you what, Jefferson gets going so fast sometimes. It's almost as if his feet are too quick for the rest of his body.
It's funny you say that. He falls an awful lot. He also spins in the lane and falls down an awful lot.
Shot clock under 10. Carry at the bucket. And point blank, uncontested, couldn't finish. Lindsey inside, plus tax. Jake Lindsey will go to the line. And that'll be one-way return, all Baylor here in Waco. Back here in Waco from the Farrell Center, John Chambie and Fran Fraschilla, all Baylor now, number 21, leading by 25. And Jake Lindsey about to go to the line and a chance at a 3-point play. We talked about his dad. But he's also got a younger brother who's playing some college hoop.
Exactly. Matt is part of that number 4 ranked Salt Lake Community College team that has a great tradition. 15-0. Also played at Olympus High School where Jake starred. You know, Jake was recruited by Stanford, Harvard. Some great programs. Of course, his dad played here. It's an athletic family. But Matt's getting it done in his own right. By the way, you know who's number 1 in the country right now?
JUCO.
Yeah, JUCO. Northwest Florida State. Coached by our good friend Steve DeMeo. Assistant coach at Iona a long time. PJ Bruce, who's out here tonight, played for him. And Steve said he had an interesting experience coaching PJ.
Yeah, Steve coached with our colleague Tim Welsh at Providence, and my buddy Bob Walsh is on that staff as well.
Yeah, they've got a great program at Northwest Florida State. Great arena too.
Achuil in close. not able to hit. But an offensive rebound. LeCompte going to work. Feed inside. Lindsay now will back it out. Oh, nasty move. He used a Euro step and then decided to go at the basket.
That was a travel 10 years ago.
18 for him. They were loving it on the bench.
They love it back in Belgium right now at about 4 o'clock in the morning.
The guys on the bench were kind of miming some dancing and almost like he was skiing.
He was skating.
Right. Here you go. Yep.
It's amazing how guys like Manu Ginobili brought that into the to American basketball culture in the first few thousand times college and high school guys tried to make that move. The referees called it a travel.
Sure.
Now it's become part of the fabric of basketball in the United States.
Yeah, college and pro.
You know what's great about that move, and we're not going to want to. Well, we'll do it during the year. If you drive it right at the defender, he's thinking he's taking a charge. Then when you step by him, he's flat-footed. Right. It's like a wide receiver in football running right at a corner and breaking at the last minute.
Chiuil can't hit. A little frustrated there. Joe's had a good night overall.
There's that spin move I told you about. I'm telling you. That's laundromat material right there. 18
now for Trey, and he likes to let you know it.
Even if he's down 20.
Rebound inside by Vital, and then Chiuil with the bucket, and he's got 14.
With that soft touch.
Kanan McClellan is checked in for Texas Southern. And he's the son of their athletics director, Dr. Charles McClellan. Fran, more college basketball coming your way on Sunday. North Carolina and Tennessee. And so those two teams squaring off. It'll be Sunday at 3 Eastern. Holiday Hoops presented by Zales. Roy Williams and Rick Barnes squaring off. Our matchup here, Baylor up by 22, leading Texas Southern 72-50. Well, the Bears having their way thanks to Big Dooney Omot, inside and outside, Fran.
Yeah, great addition to Scott Drew's roster a year ago. We saw glimpses of outstanding play, and this year, John, going back to early in the year when he's had one of the dunks of the year, but just the overall offensive improvement has been impressive, and he's got that size and length. Covered ground, handling the ball at 6'9" right here. Tell you, TJ Maston gets back. This team's already ranked. Not at full strength. And TJ, they expect him back early January.
Tristan Clark picking up his third.
When you think of Baylor this year, the two losses were to two pretty good teams, Xavier and Wichita State.
Yep.
Xavier on the road, shorthanded against Wichita State.
TJ Maxton out after breaking his hand against Xavier November 28th. It's a broken right hand.
That's right, and you know it's interesting, if I recall, he was outstanding in the first half of that game, and I know Baylor was right in that game.
Oh my, too much size as he posted up McClellan and got the bucket, 22 for Noonan. Maxton will be a big key for them.
Oh yeah, we know what he can do. He can get buckets inside. Well, they like it. They like
and the throwdown.
Yep.
That's got to be his third or fourth dunk. He's got a dozen. Trayvon Reed.
And Mike Davis is an outstanding guard of Alabama for CM Newton. And there's another Davis coming up. Antoine, his son, who's being homeschooled right now, 6'2" guard. He signed with Kelvin Sampson and University of Houston. Great shooter.
Carey kicks to the corner. Three wouldn't go. Deflected. McClure has it taken away by DeMontre Jefferson. Goes left-handed. Couldn't hit. And they go to the possession arrow. Really good hustle there by Lamont Walker. It'll be Baylor basketball when we come back. Back here in Waco, John Chomby, Fran Fraschilla, and everybody in the building just enjoying a little Mariah Carey. All I want for Christmas. Baylor up by 22. Nooney Omont's had himself quite a night as he has that many, 22, including a couple of threes. McClure launches.
You don't mind
foul inside.
You don't mind if I ask UB what he thinks of Big Joe tonight, do you?
You know what? I would love to hear what UB thinks of Joe tonight.
Now, come on. What you love about this big guy, okay? Okay, you know, everybody in the league loves this guy because you know he's going to get you 16 and 9 every night, okay? Right. We all know this, okay? And you know he's going to score at a high rate. So you love this kid, okay?
What do you have to do on an out-of-bounds play to defend? There are 3 things?
Oh, no, there are 4 things you must do when you inbound the ball under your own basket, John, okay? 1, you must cut hard to get open, okay? Now, we all know this.
LeCon just inside the 3-point line. It's a 2. And 20 for Manu. 6.5 to go in this one. And a 24-point. I beg your pardon, how's your math? 25-point advantage.
Do you think people think we got a 3-man blue team?
That probably. Kick up ahead. There's Joe. Nice.
Throwing it down in front of the family. What a day it's been.
Carey gets that bucket. Sacha Wheel, by the way, with 18. His career high is
19. Running the floor. Good look ahead. The family loving it. It's been a long day. They're not that excited.
No. But they have, the phones have been out. There's been a lot of videoing happening.
John, think of how tired they are, right? What was it, Kenya to Qatar?
Oh, I didn't even get the entire itinerary.
It was an amazing itinerary to get to Waco.
LeConte has had himself a nice game. Jefferson feed, shot blocked. Lindsey got that one.
You know, I've said this earlier in the year a number of times, but Jake Lindsey is this year's Ish Wainwright. He's your jack of all trades. He can defend, he passes it, finishes it, improved shooter.
Rarely turns it over.
Rarely turns it over.
Carey was looking for Jefferson to cut to the corner, instead turns it over. Biggest lead of the game, as it's now at 29. And here comes Jonathan Davis to check in, the walk-on. He's on scholarship for spring semester last year, but
yep, he's a Metroplex kid up there in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Lindsey from LeConte, and he buries it.
You know, we've been watching Jake since his freshman year. That's an area he's really improved, John.
I feel like it started last year was where the shooting started to really get better.
Yeah, no question. I mean, well, he puts a lot of time in the gym.
Trey Jefferson digging himself. He's got 21. Vital scoops it home. And Jefferson with 2 more.
Let me tell you, he not only can play. What's impressed me tonight, he's been completely under control and efficient. You watch some of the tape of early season games, he loses his cool and gets flustered.
It's funny though, you sit there and look at this team. They're 0-9 and headed for 0-10, and you could see them winning a game in the NCAA tournament.
Yep.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball, and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Coming up tonight on SportsCenter at 11, it's Bucci and Maine. They'll have the Kings' thoughts on Lonzo with the Lakers in Cleveland. A look at Tom Brady's greatest moments, the Pats and Steelers gearing up for Sunday's huge showdown, and SportsCenter All Access with the Sixers begins as they prepare to take on the Thunder Friday night. Trust the process. SportsCenter with Kenny and Bucci on ESPN. And into the game, Obin Okeke.
That's
number 34. There's Lindsey to the hole.
Yeah, a football player who's a walk-on, but he's got a little basketball heritage. A 4-time letter winner at Bishop Gorman in Las Vegas, which
wasn't Basil Shabazz dad?
Yeah. He was on those teams. He played with Steven Zimmerman, Chase Jeter. Now a finance major, football running back, academic all Big 12 second team.
Yeah, got some time at running back, some time on special teams.
Yep. He's got a brother playing football at Hawaii, so he's got to be thrilled to be on the court right now. He's not going to get hit very hard tonight.
Feed inside, and Vital with a throwdown.
That is a physical specimen.
Yeah, of course, Rico Gathers, who hails from Louisiana. And Vital, not quite his size, but they've dubbed him Baby Rico.
Got a chance to watch him on the AAU circuit. And, high flyer. He'll have a couple highlight dunks. There you see Big Joe. It's been a long day for Joe. It's going to be a long weekend. Graduation on Saturday.
Pretty cool, though.
Yes, sir.
Parents getting a chance to see him play college hoops for the first time. Getting a chance to see his parents for the first time in over 4 years. And college graduate on Saturday. Jefferson gets fouled. So Trey Jefferson. And there's mom and dad. Ayen and Joseph.
get a chance to really get to know these guys, John, 2, 3, 4 years in a league like the Big 12. It's kind of live their lives with them, you know. You see them on their ups and downs, tough losses, celebrations, and basketball, a small part of their lives, but it's fun to see them out on the court tonight in front of mom and dad. How about our guy Monte Morris playing his first NBA game here tonight? Iowa State, great. I do think this, and you know, to get back to Seth Greenberg's point about taking the field versus Kansas.
Right.
Right now, there's not a Big 12 team that I can say will be a Final Four, maybe even an Elite 8 team. But there are probably 8 teams inside of the top 40. And the fact that this league plays home and home, there are going to be some incredible battles this season in conference.
Year in and year out, the depth of this league, it's tough to question. And a three from the corner for Jonathan Davis.
That feels good. That young guy works hard every day. Doesn't get a lot of credit. Makes the starters better.
Jefferson lost the handle for a second. Shot short, rebound by Reed. And now Baylor. OKK. Under 90 seconds to go. Jerry trying to scoop it home, couldn't do it. David Kay to our left doing a good job. Good hands.
I think everybody wanted to see Mark Vital on a breakaway.
Well, I just didn't want him to end up in our lap. And Reed able to grab that one. And inside, I think that McClellan will go to the line. And they got it on Tristan Clark. Yeah, I'm with you as far as that there isn't, at least right now, a Final Four team in this league. But look, we see it over and over on November 23rd, December 15th, January 15th, February 15th. The teams continue to look different, you know?
Yeah, well, to that point, you got teams like Baylor, West Virginia, Kansas, who are going to be getting key guys back.
Yeah.
Trying to think of anybody else who's injured right now, but Texas certainly without Andrew Jones. They missed him the other night.
And the fans love it. OKK, the walk-on from the football team. He's got a big smile. Yeah, big number 34, the pride of Las Vegas, able to bury it. All Baylor here in the second half. Texas Southern, Mike Davis' team's going to fall to 0-10, and the Road Warriors continue on as they had games at Wyoming and TCU still to come.
Do they keep the frequent flyer miles? That's all I want to know.
Yeah. Baylor shooting 66% from the floor, and they win it. Joe Lual-Achuil, what a day for him.
Yep, special day in front of mom and dad for the first time ever. He's graduating on Saturday. He's in the midst of a very good 2-year career at Baylor, and it's a good night for Big Joe.
Baylor wins it 99-68. Time to send it back to the studio and Allison Williams.